If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, if you want to tell me you hate my videos, the best way to do it is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion go live together. And Rick Ross gets Pusha T and Lil Wayne on the same song together. And Young Thug and Future do a song together. Let's talk hip-hop. This is dope, right? Because a lot of people talking about how Nicki Minaj is hating and how she don't want to see like other female rappers shine and how like she just had the game so blocked up during like a 10-year span where it was like she didn't want no other female rapper to be on songs or anything, right? But recently she's actually been showing a lot of love to other female rappers, and a lot of other female rappers have been showing love to her, right? So she goes live, and I think that they planned this, but you know, Meg Thee Stallion pops up on her live, right? And then when Meg Thee Stallion pops up on her live to talk to her, Nicki Minaj genuinely seems like super surprised. She's like covering her mouth and everything. I mean, like dope, right? And then they just start talking about different stuff, right? So first of all, Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj congratulated Meg Thee Stallion on like her success with music and also with her success on going to school, on going to college, right? And then she asked Meg Thee Stallion, like, you know, what year are you in? And Meg Thee Stallion's like, I'm a senior, you know? And so she's like, oh, you really about to graduate? Like, for real, for real? And Meg Thee Stallion was like, yeah, like I got a couple more months and then I'm graduating, right? And then she gets up and she's like popping her ass and shit, like just basically like doing like cool, funny stuff. And then, you know, Nicki Minaj is like, you know, both of them being ratchet on live, which was funny and dope, right? Meg Thee Stallion then says that she was going to school for, I think it was like healthcare administration or something like that. And Nicki was like, wow, okay. So sometimes people have two callings is what she was basically saying to Meg, right? And giving her like mad advice. And then Meg was telling her like, yeah, I wanted to open up like different clinics and hospitals and stuff in my city. And Nicki Minaj was like, you can still do that now. You know what I'm saying? You're a rapper and now you got the money to open up that kind of stuff too. So I think that this is dope. And Meg was like, yeah, you know. And then Meg started being like, yo, right, when I get off of this live, I'm gonna go write something, right? And then Nicki was like, cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. And Meg is like, what? What are you talking about? Trying to act all innocent, like she ain't say something that hit her nerve or whatever, right? And then Nicki was like, nah, because every time I bring up something about like writing rhymes myself or penning my own stuff, people want to think that I'm trying to throw shots or throw shade at other people, right? And we know the other people is Cardi B, right? And then and Meg Thee Stallion was like, nah, I'm not trying to throw shots at nobody. Meg Thee Stallion was being like real diplomatic, right? She's like, I'm not trying to throw shots at nobody. I'm just saying like, what is the problem with me saying like, I'm about to go write some music? Like, you know, and then she told Nicki Minaj, like, don't let the internet bully you and don't let them try to determine what you say or what you talk about, right? And that was funny too. And then Nicki was like, I hear you, but nah, I'm gonna just change the subject. So she changed the subject and then asked Meg Thee Stallion what she should do about the Megatron challenge, right? And then Meg Thee Stallion was like, well, what do you mean? And so Nicki Minaj was like, well, there's so many people that submitted so many freestyles for the Megatron challenge, but originally I said I was only gonna pick 3 people. And she was like, I can't pick 3 people, it's so hard for me, and I wanna actually do a poll and have the fans pick the 3 people, right? And then Meg Thee Stallion was like, no, don't do that, just pick 3 people, you know, just because nobody, you know, everybody didn't win this time doesn't mean that everybody's not gonna win next time, you know. So she was like, pick 3 people like you said, and it is what it is, right? And she said that you, Nicki Minaj, should be the one to pick them because if you let the fans pick them, you know, everybody's going to be upset, so on and so forth. So Nicki was like, all right, cool, I'm going to take your advice. So hopefully, like, within the next couple days, we'll see, like, who won the Megatron challenge, right? And then Nicki Minaj asked Meg Thee Stallion, like, who's on the Hot Girl Summer song, right? Well, basically, she said, well, how's your Hot Girl Summer going, right? Because I know you got a man, right? And then she was like, well, you know, you can still have a Hot Girl Summer even though you got a man. Because we all know that Meg Thee Stallion is with Moneybagg Yo right right now, right? And then so she said like, all right, who's on the Hot Girl Summer song, right? And so she was like, you know, it's just me and Ty Dolla $ign. And Nicki Minaj was like, okay, cool, you and Ty Dolla $ign. And then Meg Thee Stallion was like, because somebody, pointing at Nicki Minaj, somebody is always busy. And she was like, don't do me like that because I know what's going on. And then Nicki Minaj changed the subject again, right? And this was just dope because it really was cool to like see both of them like talking to each other and kind of like no hate and just showing love like to each other, right? And then Nicki Minaj, I guess Nicki Minaj is like in LA right now because she asked Meg Thee Stallion like, you know, where you gonna be at tomorrow? And Meg was like, I'm gonna be in LA, like I'm coming to LA. I guess right now, you know, she's on the East Coast, but she's gonna fly out to LA for tomorrow for whatever, you know, she's gonna do. And so Nicki was like, oh, word? So it kind of sounded like they're gonna link up and they I don't want to, you know, they might do a song together, right? At least record the song, right? Don't mean that we're going to hear it anytime soon because if Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj come out with a song together, it ain't coming out like in a week. They're not going to just throw it out. It ain't going to be no mixtape track. You know, it's going to be like a whole like thing around it. They're going to shop it and they're going to try to make $1 million off of this song. So even if they record it tomorrow, it ain't coming out no time soon. But just to see them like showing love to each other and just to see them like talking about maybe working together is hey man, this is kind of dope and I like it. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, yo, so Rick Ross announced that he's dropping Port of Miami 2 on August 9th, right? And that's my birthday, so that's a dope birthday present. You know what I'm saying? And this is cool, right? Because Rick Ross got like 10 albums out, but his very first album in 2006 was Port of Miami, and now he's dropping part 2 to it, right? So he's just like going back to the essence of like, oh, the biggest boss, Ricky Ross, you know what I'm saying? Which is dope. So recently in an interview that he gave on Hot 97, because he's been doing a little press run for this, right? And I like the way that he's doing it because he's not really like going up to like the breakfast clubs or like these big outlets. He's doing like a kind of like smaller outlets and just kind of talking with people that he feels comfortable with, right? And giving like cool little like 20-minute interviews, nothing too long, not an hour interview, not an hour and a half, you know. And we already know Rick Ross. It's not like he has to introduce himself to us, right? But in the interview, he talked about like a couple of songs that he was working on for his album, right? And we all know that he does like these Maybach music songs, right? Not the record label, but the actual songs, right? So like in Port of Miami, he had Maybach music, and I can't remember, but I think it was like T.I. was on it, and then like, you know, he had Maybach music part 2, and he had like I want to say like maybe like, you know, Erykah Badu and Jada Kiss on it and Bun B. Then he had like, you know, Maybach Music Part 3 with like T-Pain on it. And it's always like just some kind of just music that just sounds so like sophisticated and just so like you gotta light a cigar and just like, you know, wear silk or something like when you listening to like Maybach music with Rick Ross, right? And he had one with like Jay-Z in it. It's like, and every time he does it, he picks like the creme de la creme of artists to like be on Maybach music. So he said that he recorded a new Maybach music, and this is probably going to be like part 6 now. But again, creme de la creme artists, MCs, spitters, and people that really talk about something in their music, right? So he went and got Lil Wayne for the verse, right? Of course he got Lil Wayne for the verse. He loves Lil Wayne. He's been a huge supporter of Lil Wayne forever. He looks up to Lil Wayne as a big homie, even though I think he might be older than Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne's been in the game longer than Rick Ross and pretty much longer than a lot of people. Wayne has been in the game for like 20 years because he started rapping when he was like 14, 15, right? So even though Lil Wayne, I think, is like 35 or 36 now, he's still like an OG as far as like hip hop goes, right? Which is dope, right? And then you got Pusha T, right? So he actually said that he respects Pusha T and respects the Clips, and has been like loving Pusha T's music ever since, you know, Pusha T started rapping too. And Pusha T and the Clips were in the game before Rick Ross was in the game too. And they rap about that dope boy music, they rap about that bird talk, and Rick Ross and Young Jeezy came through after Pusha T did and the Clips with all that bird talk too, right? So all of this is dope, right? Here's the thing though, Pusha T and Lil Wayne got beef, right? For way back in the day, right? You know, even, you know, going on to where like Pusha T used to rock Bape a lot because he used to hang out with Pharrell. And then, you know, Lil Wayne started wearing Bape a lot because he was doing the skateboard thing. And then the Clips, that's back when Malice, you know, was on the Clips with Pusha T. They came out with a song called Mr. Me Too, right? And basically they were throwing subs. They didn't really say Lil Wayne's name, but they were throwing subs at Lil Wayne, basically saying that Lil Wayne is like Mr. Me Too. Everything that the Clips do, you know, Lil Wayne wants to do it too. And, you know, he's basically a clone of theirs, right? So, you know, ever since then, Lil Wayne and the Clips haven't been on good terms, right? Then Pusha T's brother, Malice, you know, turned religious and changed his name from Malice to No Malice and decided to do his own thing and, you know, do hip-hop music as far as religion goes. So then Pusha T was just kind of doing his own thing. You know, he got with Kanye West, you know, Lil Wayne signed Drake and Nicki Minaj, and then, you know, Lil Wayne kind of stepped back, but then Drake started beefing with Pusha T just because his big homie and his boss was beefing with Pusha T, right? Until everything came to a head when, you know, Pusha T threw shots at Drake on Infrared like last year or 2 years ago on the last song on Daytona. That was last year. And then, you know, Drake responded with Story of Adidan, and then, Drake responded with a Duffy freestyle, and then Pusha T responded to that with Story of Adidan, right? And, you know, it's up in the air who won. You know, I think that Drake was lyrically better than Pusha T on Duffy freestyle than the Story of Adidan, but I do think that Pusha T murdered Drake with spilling a lot of tea. But a lot of people say, oh, you spilling the tea, you acting like, you know, telling rumors, and you kind of being like a chatty patty because you knew that lyrically you couldn't handle Drake, so instead you decided to expose him based on some kid that he had that the general public didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's for everybody else to decide. That's still up in the air. The bottom line is, at that point, Drake and Pusha T both hated each other, right? And they never passed shit up, and they still hate each other now, right? And if Lil Wayne had beef with Pusha T forever, and Drake too, and Drake and Lil Wayne are homies, and then you got Pusha T over here, it's crazy that Rick Ross, you know, sent the beat to Lil Wayne and had Lil Wayne send the verse back. Lil Wayne sent the verse back for Maybach Music, but didn't know that Rick Ross also sent the beat to Pusha T, and Pusha T sent his verse back too, right? So Rick Ross is kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna put the song out, and he might need permission, you know, from Lil Wayne to say, yo, Wayne, I know you got beef with Pusha T, but can I put it out? He might, just as a man, not as like permission as in, oh, I'm under contract or nothing, but as a man. And if Lil Wayne says, I'd rather you not put it out, I'm sure that Rick Ross will respect that, right? And the same thing goes for Pusha T. Like, as a man, I'm sure that he will, I mean, he never had beef with Pusha T, so I'm sure he's gonna ask Pusha T, do you mind if I put it out? And if so, it's gonna be crazy, right? Because Rick Ross managed to somehow finesse a feature with Lil Wayne and Pusha T together on a song. That doesn't mean that Lil Wayne and Pusha T will ever be cool with each other. That just means that Rick Ross finessed it and is gonna have them both on the same song on Port of Miami too. And we don't know yet, but we will find out in about 2 weeks, which is gonna be dope, right? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, so Future and Young Thug drop a song just because. I mean, just because. That's the name of the song too, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is dope though, right? And y'all already know, right? Like, I love it when Future like sings and like croons on a song, and this is like more of that, right? When Future got like, I mean, young nigga move that dope, young nigga, young, like that song was cool, but other than that, like when Future tries to like really rap or whatever like that, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. But when Future sings and he's actually like crooning and harmonizing on tracks, that's what I like, right? If Future decides to never rap again, I wouldn't be mad. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not saying I don't want him to not record again. I'm just saying, you know, do your singing thing, right? And then you got Young Thug on the song, and he's like slack, slack, and he's doing his thing, and it's fire, right? And then Future's like, I got all my chains on just because, which is so dope, right? And And this is cool, right? Because y'all know Future and Young Thug got other projects out together. You know they both from Atlanta. You know they be on tour together. You know they love working with each other. So for them to drop this song too right here is also dope, right? And I don't really know if like this another project is coming out, or maybe a mixtape or an album or whatever, or if they just doing this just because, you know, but we're gonna see, right? So if they shoot a video for it, then we definitely know that another project is probably coming out. But y'all should check it out. It's called Just Because, Future and Young Thug, and let me know what y'all think about it. Also, let me know what y'all think about everything else down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane. That's Jonny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.